Hey guys, Tarke here, and I want to talk you through my solo self-found build and strategies. So first off, what you have in front of you is my super generic, purposely designed to be bland, course to carry build. Now, why am I trying to sell you on the blandest build possible, and why have I gone iron reflexes? Well, for solo self-found, I'm of the opinion that you can't really plan around acro for racing to level 100. The reason why I'm not a fan of planning around acro and pushing top tier maps is acro without lightning coil gets very scary very quickly in the higher tiers, especially with all the sketchy Perandus mobs running around. So iron reflexes is a very cheap, very reliable node to get off the ground, to get some defense, which you can easily swap and drop out later. Why course to carry? Course to carry requires very little gear and very little scaling. You just need a +1, ideally a +2 bow, and that's basically it. Also, you need very little DPS in the tree and can go really heavy on the life, as I have. Another really good thing about it is if you look at the route I take, this is basically the exact same route that you would take for any standard bow character, most crit builds, most melee builds, most anything key builds. Also, coming up to Scion gives me the option to come into either Templar or Marauder later on if I decide to. But Tarke, why do you want to be so flexible? Well, my strat, since this is solo self-found in Perandus League, is to get to Solaris 1 in Merciless, farm Solaris 1 for 2 whole days, and completely reshape my build based around whatever Cadibro decides to offer me. Now, I was like the Cadibro farming guy at the start of the league, so I think that'd just be kind of fun to do anyway. But also, with the way that Cadibro works, you're very likely to get something when you force reset him. And if you're kind of curious on the force resetting thing, I have a video on my channel discussing it, but basically, you speed run Solaris 1, you ignore experience, you ignore anything which isn't a lockbox, anything which isn't a Cadibro, anything which isn't a Perandus box. Basically, this lets you a lot of jewels, a lot of divination cards, and a lot of coins. Now, even if after 2 days I get absolutely nothing, I'd probably be around about level 70, level 80, which I basically, instead of farming Dried Lake, I farm Solaris. It's less efficient, but I get to stockpile wealth, stockpile currency, and potentially get some high-ticket items. Because of all the lockboxes and the Perandus farming himself, you get a lot of raw currency, which is important when it comes to rolling maps and crafting. And crafting and rolling maps is very, very important in solo self-found, because you need to sustain a map pool, so you need to roll maps that you can do, and good maps. And you need to have good gear to stay alive, because you can't just buy those rares, you need to make them yourselves. So just from a pure currency point of view, it's worthwhile. If I happen to get one remotely GG item, I'm set. With the way my build is, I can easily completely respec based on so many potential weapons, so many potential body types, so many just potential skills. I can easily drop the IR, go into acro, I can pick up bow nodes, I can pick up one-handed nodes, I can drop this whole section, go this way. There's just a lot of flexibility to be had here. Also, I think it's just a fun way of doing solo self-found, because if you're going to do a purely solo self-found community event in Perandus League, well then you should base it around Perandus himself. I'm kind of treating this whole experience kind of like a Nuzlocke run. If you don't know what Nuzlocke is, basically it's like hardcore in Pokemon. The way it works is you start up your game, you can only capture the first Pokemon of each zone. Only the first, you don't know what it is, and if it dies, it's gone. And it's basically the same thing. I don't know what items I'm going to get, but I'm going to make my entire build and my entire strat around whatever I get. If I get absolutely nothing after 2 days, well, I just continue with course to carry, and I'll have a large bank of about 20k-ish coins, assuming that I do my hours correctly and spend some along the way. Meaning that if in later on while mapping I do ever find that amazing item, I'm going to have a large enough wealth of coins that I can buy whatever I need, while most other people who are just racing through, trying to get that slash played, well, if they get that really nice taste of hate, they're not going to be able to afford it. But I will. I'm not really worried too much about racing. I'm mostly just seeing how far I can get, and this to me makes the most sense. I'm going to have a full link to this build in the description. I do live stream every single day, so if you want to see my mystery Cadibro build in the making, then go check me out on Twitch, or if you just want to hang out and leave some questions, I'll be over there. So, anyway, I'm Tarke. This is a generic build. Have a good day. Bye-bye.